Fun fact, I filmed this video like a year ago, and then I filmed it like 6 months ago, and then I procrastinated editing the video so long that I was like, my hair grew out, I moved, and I was like, well, I can't just edit the old version because I look like a different human being. So we're recording this video for the third time. That's 6. Hi, my name is Margaret and welcome to my artsy corner of the internet. So today I'm talking about my experience with Steezy Studios / like, do I think it's actually worth it? A review. I feel like you hear about Steezy a lot. I get a lot of their advertisements, and I've also had Steezy for 4 years. So today I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of the platform. If you don't know what Steezy is, that's a good place to start. So Steezy is an online dance class platform. They basically have an entire library of a bunch of different styles, different teachers, and different classes that you can take. It's not like a live Zoom online dance class, it's like a library of pre-recorded videos. We're going to start off positive with the pros. So the first pro is the price. Steezy is really affordable. I go to Millennium Dance, and at Millennium I get a pack of 20 classes for $200, which is still actually a very good deal. Most classes, like if you go to New York and try to take an open class, they're like $20 a class. In-person classes can be expensive. I personally think that in-person classes are worth more than online classes, but they can get really expensive. And so having Steezy, which is $20 a month for a subscription or $100 for a year, is a really good deal. If I take 10 classes on Steezy, then I'm hitting the same value as in-person classes. Now we'll get to this later, but Steezy classes are shorter, they're online, so I don't think that they're worth as much as in-person classes. However, $100 for unlimited classes is still like an amazing price. The second pro of Steezy is accessibility. It's online, so you have tons of teachers and tons of styles of dance that you would probably not have access to otherwise. I went to college for concert dance, which is like ballet and contemporary, and I felt a big gap in my knowledge was the hip hop, break dancing, jazz, funk, all that kind of stuff. I didn't get any of that in college, and also the place where my college was, there weren't hip hop classes around me. And so having something online to supplement my training was really good. And most people are probably in a location in the world where they don't have access to hundreds of different styles and teachers of dance. So the accessibility that you get from Steezy is also a huge pro. Third pro is just the convenience. The fact that you can just open up your computer, take a 30-minute class is also really great if you're trying to squeeze in more dance classes or if you have a tight schedule. So also people who just want to do it for like a fitness side, it's like an at-home workout where you don't need any equipment. Pro number 4, I've kind of already touched on, but they have so many different teachers and all of their teachers are like legit. It's good to learn dance techniques from people who are well respected within their respective style / industry. So you're getting like industry professionals that you otherwise wouldn't have access to. Pro number 5, and this is such like a dancer thing, for the ballet, contemporary, jazz, ballet, I already said that. All the Steezy instructors are recording in a small studio, which is so fantastic. Some of the other online classes that have a lot of jazz and contemporary, they have big studios, and so sometimes they're like, and then do a giant front leap, and I'm like, I'm in a 4x4 foot box in my room, like I can't do a giant leap. So it's nice that the contemporaries are more contained so that you can actually do them at home without being like, there's a wall right there. Another pro, I've lost count which one we're on, is that the actual like mechanics infrastructure of the site are pretty easy to use. You can like hover over a video to see a preview before you click on the class. They have something called looping where you can choose like between a minute and a minute 30, and it will like jump back. And so if you want to run the number like 10 times in a row, you don't have to like go back and like click the back arrow a bunch of times to like go back. They also have like a camera in front and behind, so you can choose if you want to learn it mirrored or if you want to learn it from behind the instructor, because you don't have to worry about like technology when you're trying to take a dance class. And the final pro that I like is that Steezy, I feel like they teach history and context along with technique and choreo, and they actually have a really great YouTube channel where they talk about history and technique and different things. So I think overall they're a really good resource for dancers, new and old, and so yeah, I think overall they're just a great resource. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the cons of Steezy. This is not Steezy's fault at all, but it is really hard to self-motivate for online classes. I've gotten like halfway through a 30-minute dance class and just tapped out because I'm like, this is hard, I'm bored, I'm just sitting here in silence, I can't figure it out. So even though you have access to all this stuff on your computer in your room, it's a very real struggle of just being like, you know what, I don't want to. Just actually like trying to learn a dance in silence by yourself is so much harder than you think it's going to be. I was just touching on this, but another con is that you just miss out on the energy of a dance class. The energy in a dance studio I think is really special. It's one of the reasons why I love dance. And when you're just doing like a self-training online class, it's not the same. When I was first starting hip hop, like never had done it before, I improved a lot more from taking classes with other people than I did online. Again, that's more of a problem with like online dance classes overall, but I mean, Steezy is not immune to that. Con number 3 is that Steezy is much more geared to commercial hip hop styles. I put that as a con. It's not a con because I think that they have such a good wealth of information in all of those styles, and it is rare that you can find a studio that has all of those categories of dance. So it is really great. But if you're looking for contemporary or ballet or jazz, they just don't have much, to be honest. And
Hi, hopping in. Don't look at me. I look crazy. Well, another pro that I honestly forgot about is that Steezy is constantly updating, so they've probably added even more jazz contemporary stuff since I've last checked, which is great. But basically, if you're like a high-level jazz contemporary dancer, I think that there are other options that might suit you better than Steezy. That being said, if you are brand new to ballet or contemporary, they have a lot of really good beginner stuff. So.
Another con is that you should definitely figure out if you have a place to dance at your house. Side note, probably want to figure out if you have a screen bigger than an iPhone. Computer or TV would probably be best. But even sometimes I have a problem on my computer because I can't see details if I'm standing too far away from it. The bigger the screen, the better, basically, so you can actually see what's happening instead of like going up and being like, I'm wondering if these are actually cons of Steezy or if these are just my own personal problems. So overall, the question is Steezy worth it? I do think it is worth it. I think what you're getting is really good value for the price that you're paying. And I think that there's so many styles, so many great teachers, so much information on Steezy that's really wonderful that you can have it at the tip of your fingers. It's accessible to everybody. Steezy, I think, is a good deal if you actually use it. But as I kind of said, there are sometimes months when I'm just like, Steezy, what's that? And then I'm like, oh, right, I pay for that. I should probably be using it. I do think it is a great way to supplement training, especially if you don't live close to a studio, the studio that close to you doesn't offer these styles, or you want to take hundreds of classes.
Hi, I'm back. I wanted to add in that I talk a lot about like Steezy versus in-person class. I think Steezy is some of the best online classes that I've taken, so that's why I highly recommend Steezy. However, there are pros and cons of in-person versus online training, which I could do a whole nother video about. I will almost always put in-person training above online training, but I think it is healthy to use both of those in your dance education. So.
I would not know as many commercial styles of dance if it wasn't for Steezy. As I mentioned, I went to a college that didn't offer any of those styles, and so having Steezy supplement my college education was actually really important for me. All that being said, I definitely think it's worth it. I hope that this was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.